Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Concordia co-founders Matthew Swift and Nicholas Logothetis.
Good morning. Good morning. It is so great to see so many fantastic friends, and also it is so great to see so many new people in the room today as we get ready to open the 13th Concordia Annual Summit. I want to take a moment to especially welcome and thank the co-chairs of Concordia's Leadership Council, George Logothetis and President Laura Chinchilla, former President of Costa Rica. Thank you for being here. I am often asked, what is the objective of these summits? What comes from these summits? And I think that it is incredibly important to keep in mind what is happening around the world and what that means. There seems to be this unending sort of series of negative themes about what is going wrong in the world or the lack of solutions to different things. And the fact is that nothing gets done without that human-to-human contact, and nothing gets done to the level that we need it to get done without public and private sector cooperation, without dialogue, without forums by which a lot of us can all come together. And so I want to welcome you all for this 13th iteration of our annual summit, which has grown into one of the leading summits parallel to the United Nations General Assembly, because this is a very unique week for the world. If you think about it, there is only one time each year that the majority of heads of government, of presidents and prime ministers, come to one city at one place in 1 week. And that is a remarkable opportunity to think about creative solutions to so many of the different challenges that we face as a global community. And at Concordia, our founding tenet is focused on public and private sector cooperation, public-private partnerships to advance different issues, and market-led solutions to the complex issues that we cover. And so I want to, again, stress to all of you today, all of you are here for a number of reasons. But one of them is you're open to partnerships. You're open to getting things done. You're open to thinking about solutions to the different issues and challenges that we talk about. So take a minute. Meet the people you're sitting next to. When you're at the coffee bar, introduce yourself to the person you're grabbing a cup of coffee with. Tell them what you do. Tell them what you're thinking about. Tell them where you're from. Tell them your story. Because within this entire summit is a remarkable capacity to drive important solutions at a time when we've never needed it more. You're going to hear from a wide array of leaders from around the world, and at this summit alone, you have people from over 90 countries. So I'm grateful for all of you for taking the time. I'm grateful for your all's trust in Concordia, and I look forward to a very, very successful few days of this summit. I want to take a quick minute to especially thank a number of our sponsors, because frankly, Concordia is funded by now hundreds of institutions through our sponsorships, our partnerships, and our memberships. And we couldn't do it without these resources. So I want to thank Libra Group, our founding sponsor, APCO, Meta, Calamos Investments, Salesforce, Henley & Partners, ExxonMobil, United Airlines, Siemens Healthineers, AT&T, Horizon Therapeutics, BHP, Merck, Train, TC Energy, DP World, McDonald's, Microdose, and Microsoft for their support for this year's summit. They're not just supporting Concordia more broadly, they're specifically supporting this meeting, and Nick and I and the entire team at Concordia are grateful for their support. In a little bit, we'll also spend some time acknowledging our number of programming partners who we've been able to devise what I think is the best program I think we've ever put together in 13 years. So enjoy the next few days, and now I'll pass it to Nick Logothetis, my co-founder.
Thank you, Matt. It is an honor to be standing up here with you for the 13th time. This is our 13th annual summit. I'm Nick Logothetis, co-founder and chairman of the board of Concordia. Today we have business leaders, government officials, non-profit executives, entrepreneurs, students, and thought leaders as we come together to confront the biggest challenges we face. And I want to make a point in saying that the students and the young people that we have here number in their hundreds, and it's a really important aspect for us to have both the presidents, the students, the CEOs, and everyone in between. And I think that's what one of the things that makes Concordia unique. I'm reminded of the power of collaboration and impact that we can achieve when we come together on the common goal that Concordia was founded on, which is the belief by bringing together leaders from diverse backgrounds, we can create collaborative solutions that go on to stand the test of time. Today, the challenges we face are daunting as ever. Climate change threatens our environment. Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues unabated, and inequalities and geopolitical tensions persist. But I'm optimistic, as I hope all of you are. I'm optimistic because I've seen the power of what can be achieved when people come together with shared values, determination, and willingness to collaborate. We need Concordia and other organizations in the nonpartisan cross-sector platforms now more than ever to help that next generation lead and to come up with action-oriented solutions to fight in misinformation and institutional bias. The next 3 days will feature over 100 sessions, over 200 speakers, close to 3,000 people have registered, as well as, I think we're up to 95 countries now, so people, close to 100 countries are represented here. So let us remember that our actions today have a profound impact on the world. We will lead future generations. Let us explore new pathways towards sustainability, resilience, and shared prosperity. And as Matt said, please take the leap and introduce yourself. You know, we all don't like the term networking, but network. So much has come out of these events over the past 13 years that I can't encourage you enough to just take that leap. So doing that, we can find solutions to the most complex and difficult problems. Now, it is my honor to introduce the 110th Mayor of the City of New York, Eric Adams. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew and Nicholas, and really thank all of you. And I know many of you are from outside our city, and so we only have really one ask of you while you're here. Spend money, spend a lot of money. I was speaking to the local government leaders at the UN over the weekend, and I shared with them where I was several years ago. I woke up in the middle of the night and during the morning, and I couldn't see the alarm clock. I thought it was sleep in my eyes, and eventually I realized that there was something serious. I had a terrible pain in my stomach. I thought it was colon cancer because I just lost a good friend to colon cancer and it didn't move. My fingers were tingling, my toes were tingling, and you know, women, you know men, you have to drag us to the hospital before we realize something is wrong. Got to the doctor, he put me under sedation, and he checked my stomach and my colon. And when I came from under sedation, he says, Eric, it's not your colon, you have a terrible ulcer. But he said the real problem is your diabetes. You're going to lose your sight in a year or so. You're going to lose some fingers and toes. And that's the tingling you're feeling. You have permanent nerve damage. And it just hit me that my body looked fine, but it was breaking down internally. I was so busy taking selfies, I should have taken an internal selfie. And I did something revolutionary. Instead of listening to the message of I would be on medicine the rest of my life and I need to learn to live with diabetes, I did a revolutionary act and I went to Google and Googled reversing diabetes. All of this information came up. In the spirit of quantum mechanics, you don't acknowledge something until you don't see something until you acknowledge it. And I spoke to doctors that were talking about whole food, plant-based diets, and I decided to embrace that because, you know, desperation is inspiration. And within 3 weeks of changing my diet, my vision came back. Within 3 months, my nerve damage went away. I don't even know when my ulcer went away. Lost 30-something pounds and just changed my food. Why am I sharing this with you? Because it is, to me, the analogy of our globe. Our planet is our body. And you cannot have a certain part of your body healthy. My heart can't be healthy and my lungs aren't. My brain can't be healthy and my pancreas is not. The body is a closed ecosystem, and that is who we are as a planet. We are a closed ecosystem. And if we continue to embrace the arrogance that those of us who are in financial stable countries, that our actions are not going to impact us eventually, that is a big mistake. And using this conference to have a cross-pollination of ideas and concepts and beliefs, and being honest about acknowledging the things that we are doing that are wrong, being injected with insulin and taking metformin for the rest of your life when merely you could make a shift in your diet, and understanding that you do not embrace chronic diseases because of your DNA, you embrace them because of your dinner. And stop eating food like substance, but real food. And we can't do that if we continue to destroy our environment. We have two mothers. We have one that gave birth to us and one that sustained us. And we have been abusive to Mother Earth. And in that abuse, if you look in the crevices of that abuse, away from our beautiful sceneries, our beautiful skylines, our beautiful waterfalls, but if you go into the huts, the villages and towns, you realize that abuse is prevalent. Too many places on the globe, women are treated as unequals, don't have the right to have real adequate health care. And that's why the panel we're doing on women's health with my women deputy mayors later today is so important. We need to dig into those real issues. We've made concepts and terminologies that are part of a women's body taboo. You're almost ashamed to say that you're dealing with these menopause issues and not having the reality of womanhood. And then our young people, we have to ask ourselves in a real way, as one tribe in Africa, when they greet each other, they don't say, hello, how are you? They say, how are the children? Ask ourselves that. How are the children? Social media has hijacked them. They're going through suicidal thoughts, depression. They start their day in this city in particular, and probably in others, stopping at the local stores and getting cannabis and sitting inside a classroom while they're under influence. They're in pain. They're being taught through social media how to do things that's harmful to them. How are the children? That's an indication of our future. And this partnership that Concordia is doing with business interests, your business plan must include how you participate and bring up the cities across this entire globe. That's what we must do. Build more housing, create a good healthcare system so we don't have a sick care system waiting until someone gets sick and then we give them items that treat their symptoms and not the underlying cause. That's why we have in our hospitals the first time plant-based meals as a default menu, and our children are learning meatless Mondays and plant-powered Fridays, where they're learning how to grow food and see it in a real way. Understanding that ketchup is not a vegetable. And focusing on real communication and using technology not to exploit, but to build up. Leaning into the discomfort of these challenging conversations that we have. These are challenging times, but we're made for challenging times. Our bodies are hardwired to meet the challenge head on. I'm excited about what this conference is doing. And I'm hoping that as you move through the next few days, you will stop and talk to and with some of the young people here. And speak with someone who looks and speaks and talk and act differently from you. I believe the energy of being back in the room is so important. We need to use that energy as we start to heal the anatomy of our globe, as we deal with the real crises that are facing. The migration issue that we're seeing in the city, we have extended ourselves to our brothers and sisters who have come from areas where wars and instability and the inability to grow just basic needs. We've extended so much help to them, but so many of our countries are dealing with the same crisis, the global crisis. We are all watching what's happening in our environment. We woke up one morning and noticed the smoke that came from a fire thousands of miles away. Walls, waters, and boundaries and geographical lines are not going to prevent the crises that we are facing to stay within a geographical area of one particular place on the globe. It was spread like the cancer throughout the anatomy of our body, the anatomy of the body that we call the planet Earth. And so I want to conclude. I think about the hunter that was in the jungle hunting for big game. He came up with a lion with his partner, and he looked at his partner and he said, "Let's run. Let's get out of here." His partner said, "What's wrong with you? You can't outrun a lion." He said, "I don't have to outrun the lion. I just have to outrun you." And although I laughed when I heard that, I realized that we're trying to outrun each other. The lion's still going to be in the jungle. I don't want to outrun Kenya. I don't want to outrun UK. I don't want to outrun South and Central America. I want us to come together and get rid of the lion of environmental destruction, the lion of treating groups differently, the lion of exploiting countries and continents, the lion of destroying our environment, the lion of making sure that we don't stabilize and create vaccines, that the vaccine is not only in those who can afford it, but globally. The lion of making sure that we can end the wars that are tearing apart family. Let's get rid of the lion. Let's not outrun each other. Let's unite together and make sure we can have not only a jungle, but our nations that are free from those lions that could destroy us. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you. Thank you.